It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. Thank you so much for keeping it dialed in as we dial into relationships being a Monday. Yes, but hopefully the start of a new chapter in your life. And I think after experiencing heartbreak, it is not uncommon to be apprehensive, a little bit nervous about rejoining the dating pool. It's tough out there. We understand that because it can feel like you, I think, signing yourself up to get hurt all over again. So if you're recently single and need a little guidance before getting back out there, getting back on the horse, we've got a panel of experts perfectly tailored for this discussion.
You know what? The mission today is for Stella. I'm looking at Stella. I'm saying, Stella, I want to help you get your groove back. Stella, come on. And that's why we're chatting about dating after a breakup. We're featuring a celebrity psychologist, Teresa Bloomberg, lifestyle influencer, Nande Mabala, as well as YouTuber Hisham Votterson, who also goes by Levi. And if you have any tips that you want to share with us, because you maybe have lived that experience, please do feel free to share those by sending us a voice note on 063-408-8863. Panel, good morning.
Good morning, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. You seem so hopeful to be entering into a new relationship, which is, I love that. We want that enthusiasm. I'm just going to put it out there right now. This is a safe place, okay? So if you need to ask anything or make any observations or give any advice, please do drop us a voice note. Teresa, I'm going to start with you because it feels like far too long since we've had a chance to connect in person as well, which is great. So good to have you here. I think often after a breakup, you kind of feel pretty worthless. You kind of feel almost unlovable because you've now gone through this process. You felt like you were unshakable in your love, and now you've just been tossed aside. And I know I make light of this, but it can be one of the darkest times of anyone's life. Where do these feelings of being unlovable come from?
Right. Morning, and thank you. Everyone wants to be loved. Everyone wants to be needed. And that is an innate, we can just say, desire that we all have and we need, and we want to love others and we want others to love us. And when there's been a loss, oh my gosh, it's part of bereavement. So we have to mourn it. So there's anxiety, there's fear, and of course, then it's a little bit normal to say, will I ever be loved again? Can I find anyone? What's going to happen to me? But we must be very careful of those dysfunctional thoughts, okay? They can be self-sabotaging, and that can pull us right down and cause that self-esteem to be low, low, low confidence. Dangerous. And remember, it's a dark space. When one door closes, another opens. Remember.
I love that, Nande. You certainly seemingly have found an open door when one did close on you. How did that process unfold for you when you broke up and you eventually, I suppose, decided to get yourself back in the game? How was that process, and what did it look like?
It looked a bit messy. You can imagine. The first thing you want to do is like paint the town red with your goals and just like, but I think avoidance is what we do, but I think it's time for you to just accept the relationship for what it was. That's what I did. I was like, okay, there's a reason why I left, wrote down the reasons why I left, and then made sure that I spent some time alone, talk about to myself about what I want next and where I want to see myself in my next relationship, what I'll allow, what I won't allow. So just don't avoid sitting with yourself.
Yeah, you take stock and you hit the reset button.
Yeah, completely. And just watch what music you're playing in the background. Keep it upbeat, man.
I think you need that music that makes you cry. Yeah.
No, but sometimes you do just have to get it out because there is a learning opportunity. And I think people often think they see their professional career in this trajectory where you keep learning and then relationship just tabletops out. Surely we should be growing and learning to be better so that when we do get into that final relationship, we are at our best. In fact, a couple of weeks back, we were discussing exactly how long it can take to get over a breakup. And one of our experts had something really interesting to say. This was from Jeffrey Kahn. Let's take a listen to this.
Is there ever a right amount of time before you move on with someone?
Psychologically, 18 months.
Okay.
So psychologists worked it out 18 months. But men are different. We just go straight in.
18 minutes.
18 seconds. That's the problem. Women take more time and they're more emotional about it, and I've got to get over it, and I've got to get, the mentally. Men, next weekend, got to be. Otherwise, I don't feel like a guy anymore. And that's why men are getting into relationships so quickly. And you've got to be careful with the quickness getting into relationships because you can hurt somebody else.
Wow, we left it there on a bit of a cliffhanger. We would hurt someone else like we loaded the gun and then left it. But it's so true. Levi, I'm going to turn to you because there is some truth in that. I think I've always been one of those people that latches on quite quickly. So I've got to be very careful not to move on too quickly because I know I'm going to go straight into a long relationship. But in your kind of understanding of this space, why do you think guys get over it? Do you think that's true? Guys get over it more quickly, or are we just programmed to get back into the game more quickly? What do you think?
You know, from a personal point of view, I don't think you ever get over that, you know, that first spark that you ever have.
Yeah.
Right? Because to me, at least, that first time when a person makes you feel like you're back home, like that, you know, the comfortable feeling and that it's just warm inside. I don't think you ever get over that. So, in my personal experience, you just keep looking for that in the next person and the next person. So,
And so
to me, I
it can
don't
just
think you
be...
ever
And leaving a trail of broken hearts behind you.
yeah. So to me, I don't think from my personal experience you ever get over that first person.
Unless you're lying to yourself. And Nande said that the first thing, you know, you immediately think is you want to paint the town red. And that's why, conversely, Charissa, a lot of people will go out and, you know, find themselves, you know, engaging in, say, for example, meaningless relationships, maybe meaningful to whatever extent, one-night stands, for example. Certainly not me. I am not that person. But many people do that sort of thing. What do you think of this dynamic of dealing with heartbreak and dealing with the loss of someone and trying to find yourself desirable again in that way?
That's a very controversial topic, very difficult to answer that. People want to feel needed and they're longing for that. And it's some form of denial as well. It's like, I don't want to feel the pain, let me go out and let me get revenge on my partner and let me show everyone I'm good. But at the end of the day, they're still in bed alone at the end of the day and they have to think, I have to process everything. And let's be careful with safe sex and dangerous times. And what happens if they love the person too much or they want that connection and that person ghosts them? Then it's rejection again. And then that emotional hurt comes up and we have to deal with double trouble.
Yeah.
So we need to be very, very careful. Instant gratification, maybe, but be careful.
Sure it's for the right reasons and that you're in control and you're clear, honest and transparent with the next person as
When
well.
are you ever in control of your emotions? Come on, man. Come on. I love it. Well, of course, you guys at home are the real experts. Why? Because you live this every single day. Have you been through a breakup? Have you got any insights to share with us about how to get back into the dating game? We'd love to hear from you. Let us know via a WhatsApp voice note, 0634088863. We'd love to hear from you.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Yes, it is your feel-good breakfast show. It's Expresso on S3. Thank you very much for joining us at the start of a brand new week. It's a Monday, and we're opening up to love, to relationships, to meaningful connections. And we're back with our panel discussing how best we can start dating again after experiencing a breakup. We're joined again by celebrity psychologist Charissa Bloomberg, lifestyle influencer Nande Mabala, as well as YouTuber Levi. If you have any tips, any questions, please share your experience maybe on 063-408-8863.
I can't wait to hear those voice notes.
Nah, me
Please,
too.
man. No, we're here for you. We are a safe place, as I said a little bit earlier. Levi, I'm going to start with you now, because online, on the surface of it all, it seems like a great place to go out and meet new people. We look at certain websites are pretty much a place to hook up. It seems like, wow, it's so easy. It's there on a plate. What are some of the pitfalls and the dangers, do you think, of putting yourself out there online? What should we be careful of?
So, I feel like dating apps are this weird thing where you can speak to so many people at once, right? And you have access to, like, you know, you never really, you never don't have anyone to speak to, basically. But at the same time, that can be a bad thing because you're speaking to so many people. Whereas if you meet someone in person or, you know, go on an actual date and the traditional
Make a
way,
real connection.
Yeah, you make a real connection. But online, it can be anyone. It might not even be a real picture. For starters, someone could
Swindlers.
Yeah, it could be photoshopped even. Who knows? People are weird on the internet, especially.
It will be photoshopped. Let's just start with that, baby. Let's start with that as a premise.
Yeah, so I think dating apps, I wouldn't personally go for it because it breaks apart the real connection that you can make with someone. Because first of all, it's over text messages, and you never even know if you're speaking to that person. It could be their friend with their phone, for example, you know, playing a prank on you while you're pouring your heart out and someone just taking you for a joke.
Yeah.
Something like
You've
that.
been burnt, man.
You can get burnt, but sometimes it can work, and we've seen how it has worked for so many people. I mean, there is some sense of new normal around it being, you know, the new way to connect with people, but doesn't always go the right way. Nande, for you, let's talk about exes. When you step into the dating game again, it can be very tempting to make comparisons between, your current person or partner that you're seeking out and your ex, maybe on behavioral traits or qualities that you really appreciated. What is the danger of that? Do you make those comparisons? Did you ever find yourself
making those comparisons? Well, not to sound cliche, but your ex is an ex for a reason. There's a reason why you left your ex. Your ex is your ex for a reason. And I think what I always say to my friends as well, like, enjoy the person for who they are. Don't compare them to your ex. If your ex used to do something that you didn't like and the person you're with now kind of does something similar and you might react, enjoy the person for who they are. Like, start afresh. Look at the person for who they are, enjoy the things that they bring, and think about the reasons why you didn't like your ex or you didn't want... To play devil's advocate, look at all the things that you disliked about your ex and then focus on that. That will make you not go back or compare the person to your ex. That's
Print them on a T-shirt, put the T-shirt on.
Print the T-shirt.
you are late,
just like Thabiso.
Well, look,
Don't be like Thabiso.
And do it in reverse, so when you look in a mirror, it's right. Look, added to that, it's often not what something about the other person, it's what they bring out in us that we don't like. So maybe it's you that haven't changed and you haven't found another person just like your ex, but you haven't been able to move on. So let's talk about that, being able to individually move on, elevate. We want to evolve within our emotional space, but when we're caught up in the emotion and the moment, it's very difficult to stop and be objective. How do we do that in the moment when the emotions are running high, we're falling in love and it's all beautiful and it's crazy? How do we just pause and be objective and make sure that we are making the right kind of decisions and are improving in our relationship journey?
Right. Who are you looking at?
You.
It's old age, you know.
Right there with you, girl, yeah.
We really need to work on ourselves and we really need to work on that baggage so that we don't take it to our relationships. And at some point, we want to put that baggage down. So we focus on the person for who they are and what they are bringing, exactly as Nandi said, and what they're bringing to the table. And the ex, move out of there completely. But focus, he has a new person, and it's not fair on the new person. You know what? To start comparing them and thinking about that. So focus on them, their qualities, and make sure you have deal breakers. I will never go, say, for example, date a person who doesn't love animals. I will never have someone who puts me down. What are the deal breakers? So think about that. And new person, don't bring your baggage to them. It's not fair on them.
Maybe even just a little purse, just a little clutch. Clutch. Come with.
It's not welcome.
It's not welcome.
Levi, a lot of your online content features your strong connection and your strong bond with your friends. I imagine that having a community of people in your life, in your immediate world, i.e. friends, becomes very important when sort of, resetting and, reflecting and stepping into the new. For you, certainly seems to be the case.
So, when you meet someone, right, and that spark, those sparks are flying and your stomach is just warm and everything, as they say, love is blind. So while you're feeling all these emotions, it's very easy to just lose the plot sometimes. So I feel like your friends and family, they can just keep you grounded sometimes. So then just clear your head when they see something that maybe you can't. Yeah. Because that's what they're there for. To just correct you while you can't, or while you can't see it.
That's it, because love is blind. Make your friends your guide dogs. That's what I say. I love that.
And trust me, they will be ready to step up when you need them to. Yeah. And if it's tough love, they will do it because they care about you, but they also know you probably better than you know yourself. We're going to continue, in fact, wrap up this conversation. We are re-entering the dating game, especially after a difficult breakup. What do we need to get back to that place where we can share and enjoy a good relationship? We'd love to hear from you. 06340888863. Drop us a voice note.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. Thank you so much for rejoining the conversation as we continue to chat relationships and hopefully the relationship that is waiting around the corner for you. We know that breakups are very difficult. Sometimes moving on and dating again can be even harder. And we are joined once again by Charissa Bloomberg, Nande Mabala, as well as Levi Voterson, who are standing by to dispense some more helpful tips on putting yourself out there again. And of course, we put it to you guys to please weigh in as well. If you want to drop us a voice note, please do that, 0634088863. But of course, this was taken to social media as well.
Yeah, I mean, people are engaging and coming in on social media. We've got a comment here that came through, this one from Rita Govender, who says, good morning, fam. The ultimate no-no for me on a first date is complaints. People tend to complain about everything, and that's not meant for a first date. First dates are for positivity.
In fact, go out for tea.
Yeah, we got one from Busisi Wenkosi, who says, morning, fam. No-nos for me is lies from the get-go and always on your phone. Give me 0, please. That's what Busisi says. We also got one from Simone Mudley, who says, my ultimate no-no is sharing intimate secrets on the first date. Hashtag Expresso show. Yeah, man, I mean, this is very interesting. So, of course, weighing in with the things that you're really just unprepared to have to go through when you then get yourself back into the dating game. Thanks so much for sharing those comments.
Sip on the positivity, don't be negative, okay? And don't overshare. Cool, I like those. That's some great advice. Don't give away any trade secrets as well. Nande, maybe being out of the dating game, you've lost a bit of your groove. You've got to go back on a date tonight. What do you recommend they do to boost their confidence, to have themselves feeling the best that they possibly can be?
If you look good, you feel good. So make sure that you look good and smell amazing. You can't, you know, when you meet someone and you remember their scent, the first thing you think is like, that person smells so good. So make sure that you smell good, make sure that you look good, and just look at yourself in the mirror and tell yourself you deserve it, whatever it might be. If you want him to open the door, if you want him to open up the chair, you know, if you want take some food from his plate, do it, go ahead. Whatever's gonna make you feel good. Don't let the naysayers tell you otherwise. But yeah, just look good, feel good, smell good as well, and just enjoy the date. Don't be too nervous.
Because those are things that are in your control.
Yes.
You can choose
you
what
can
to wear.
control all those things. You can choose what to wear. You can choose the type of hair you want to go with. Yeah. And also, ladies, make sure you wear heels that are comfortable.
And even if it's a kitten heel, it's
it's okay.
fine.
It's okay.
Thank you. Levi, my director, just said, hell no, nobody's rocking up in that. But Levi, any tips for the gents out there? Because it's not just difficult getting back into the dating game for the Stellas out there, the Hermans out there as well. How do we get Herman to get his groove back?
As cliche as this is about to sound, because everyone says this, but be yourself. That's all you can ever be, because if you have to change something about yourself to suit someone else, that's the wrong person for you. Anybody that's meant to be in your life will just accept you for who you are, and you wouldn't have to change anything. So,
Stunner.
Come on, love it. I love that. I absolutely love it. Charissa, unfortunately, as you've discovered on the show many times, I suffer from this tragic disease, foot and mouth disease, and it happens so often live on TV, and it generally happens on a first date. How do we avoid that? How do we avoid putting our foot in our mouth in that first moment where we are obviously trying to build an opinion or help them build an opinion of ourselves, or worse yet, how do we avoid talking about our ex or our last breakup? Because that's obviously dominated a lot of our thought and our frame of reference. So we've got very little else to actually talk about if you've just come through that. So how would you recommend going into that first date?
Graham, the worst thing, the worst turn-off for any partner is my ex. Don't say those words. Don't go there. I think the best thing that we can take with, obviously the way we look and everything, but is our mindset. Take our thoughts with. Pump yourself up before. I deserve love. I deserve something amazing. I am lovable. I will find the right partner. I'm going to do this, and prepare some topics. Talk about food. Ask them questions about themselves as well, so you get it off you. Not how much do I earn, what kind of... but ask them questions. What are their hobbies? What do they like to do? Where have they gone? What do they... All those things, prepare beforehand, but get them mentally in your head, because your thoughts are powerful. take your mindset with you.
And a positive one
And a
at that,
positive
because
one.
like we said, there is no room for any negativity in that space. You really don't want to make it a damp situation for anyone. Thank you so much for this fantastic conversation, guys. Nante, for being bold enough to come share with all of the sass your own recovery in terms of getting back into the game. Levi, you know, so chilled about it because you seem to have learned along the way, and Charissa, as always, for dispensing all of that wisdom and professional approach to it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.